Alright, so in that last video we went ahead and changed the size and color of some of the text, and we changed the text here from road to highway, but now we're left with this stroke and outer glow here, and I'm going to show you how to adjust that. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way. And what I do here is, if you just take a look here at the layers panel on cold and highway, there's this little effects here, and that just tells you that there are text effects, layer effects applied to these layers. And what I can do is, if I click this little arrow here, it shows all the effects that are applied here. Alright, if I right click, I can go ahead to blending options, and then this will open up this blending options layer style window. Okay, now right now I have a little bevel on this text. I also have a stroke, which is blue, the light blue. So I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of the stroke. Okay, and you see it only made a slight effect. Okay, just a little bit of that light blue color went away. That's because more of the light blue color is here with the outer glow. And if you see that, if I get rid of that, okay, that little glow, light blue color disappears. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, but leave the bevel. What I can also do here is, you see this outer glow? Okay, if I click here where the color is, I can go ahead and change the color. So if I wanted just to be white instead of light blue, I could have the white color. So we'll go ahead and keep that maybe, just to see how that looks. I can always get rid of it later. And I'm going to keep that, so I'll hit OK. If I didn't want to keep it, I could have hit cancel, and it would have went back to how I had the text before that. Now I want to go ahead and mess around with this cold. First of all, I'm not too crazy about the font, so we're going to change that. Alright, and make it a little bigger. And I'm not crazy about that font either. Let's go with something pretty basic. There we go. And we'll get this to kind of stand out. Alright, and now I can go ahead and right click, bring up blending options. Now let me show you one more thing. If you just wanted to go ahead and get rid of these, okay, the blending options on this text, I could just go here and go to clear layer style. Okay, and what that'll do is get rid of them completely and just leave me with the flat white text. Alright, with no, you can see the FX is gone. So if I go to step backward, that'll bring it back. Alright, and what I can do with that is, that just, if I screw something up, or if I just don't want any kind of layer style applied, okay, I can just do that. Now if I want to go from scratch, like say on John Doe, or now there's no layer style here applied to cold, let's say I want it to kind of stand out from the pavement here a little more, so I'll go to blending options and I'll just add a slight drop shadow. Okay, so now I'll bring the opacity up, and if I play around with distance, okay, distance is how far the shadow is, okay, from the text. Just want a real small drop shadow here. Okay, spread is how far the shadow spreads, and size is how large the shadow is. I don't want much size, and the spread, just kind of play around with it. Now you can choose the different blend modes and whatnot, but let's just have that little black. Could probably even go a little smaller, just so it kind of stands out and has a real small shadow to kind of stand out from the pavement. Okay, click OK, and I'm going to come back to highway, right click, come to blending options, and let's go ahead and get rid of this outer glow and see what that does. Okay, now let's bring it back on and see what happens with this. See, if you see I choose red here, that doesn't look good. But what if I just go with a black color? It doesn't really do anything. Cancel. I'm just going to go ahead and turn this off. Try a drop shadow here. No. If I turn the bevel off, it doesn't. Okay, that gets it to stand out a little bit. Alright, so we'll go with that. The other thing I need to do is I'm just going to turn this copyright off. Okay, don't really need that. And there we go. Alright, so you can see what we've done here. We went from our original cover with this background. Alright, which I forget what the exact words were, something road. Okay, and we've changed it to this cover. Okay, now we'll just do a few little things to touch this up. Okay, now here's a little trick. I'm going to move this down with the arrow key, okay, to kind of get the two words a little closer together. But then if I want to move them both, I've already got them as far away, spaced out how I want, along with the sub headline here. Okay, now if I want to move all three of those at once, I can go ahead and just select title, folder, and that'll select all three. Or if I have it open, I can select the subheadline, and if I hold the shift key, I can select cold and I can select highway. So now I have all three of these selected. I'm going to again hold the shift key. I have the move tool selected here. Okay, if I hold the shift key and move it down, it'll move all three, okay, layers down, keeping the spacing. And because I have the shift key held, it won't let me move it side to side. It'll just let me move it straight up and down, keeping it centered on the cover. Okay, so I want it right, want the cold just below that white stripe in the road. Okay, so there we go. Now I want to just touch this up a little up here. So the bestseller might be a 1 or 2 points too big on the font. Okay, so I'll open this back up. We'll adjust it to 10-point font, and then we're gonna, with the arrow key, just go ahead and move this up a little tiny bit. Click, click, click. Each one just nudges it up a little bit. I'll select the hand tool so I can not have the guides around my layers, and you can see our cover here. Okay, now is it the greatest cover ever created? No. Okay, but it's a professional cover, and to the average person there's almost no way to tell, okay, that we started with something that looked a little more like this, although okay, we've got a few changes, but pretty much a totally unique cover, just using the templates and a few minor changes. And I went through this really slow. Once you get the hang of it, okay, you'll be able to really breeze through this, make a few changes, okay, change things to your liking, and have a whole new cover in less than 10 minutes. Alright, one last thing as far as the effects here go. Okay, later on when it comes to layer styles, I'm going to show you a few shortcuts where you can use a few tips and tricks, and where you can find some of these layer styles that are already done, so you don't have to go in here with the blending options and start from scratch. So say you were using John Doe here and you wanted to apply a layer style, you wouldn't have to start from scratch and try to figure out and play with all these settings. Okay, I'll show you how to find layer styles on the internet for free, some either for free or for extremely low price, and you can literally copy and paste them, or use the layer styles, the styles window here. Okay, and there's some presets here, but then you can also download styles like these and use them. Like this is an example here. I have John Doe selected, so I'll go ahead and choose this layer style, and that layer style has a little blue gradient, okay, a little outline. Or if I choose this layer style, now I have a little black stroke with a yellow and an orange gradient. Here's a red with a bevel. Okay, here's a gray, a darker gray, another red with a little different gradient. Okay, and these are all, you can find some of these. Okay, here's like a sticker look, and you can find these styles, these layer styles, across the internet, and they're usually done and created by professional designers, so you can kind of piggyback off of their work, legally of course, because they sell these or they give them away for free on their website. So that's how that works. And that alone will save you a lot of time because you won't have to um, adjust and play with these layer styles from scratch. And then eventually what you'll do is you'll find a layer style too that you like this one is embossed here. Okay, you see how it looks like it's burned into the cover. Okay, and then you'll be able to use that as your base and then go into the blending options and make one small change. Say you make a change just to the gradient, just to the color of it. Okay, you can play with this and change the colors, or you could put an overlay, a color overlay on it. Okay, and then you change the opacity here so it's a little lighter, and now you see it's got that darker red with that burned into the background look. Now I can go ahead and change it to this blue, okay, and still have that embossed look, that pressed look into the background. Okay, and all I did to do that was choose a layer style and change the color of it. Now if I don't like it, okay, I can always right click on the layer, go to clear layer style, and it's gone back to what I had it. If I want it back, I just undo. The other thing I can do is say I really like this embossed navy layer style. I can right click again, choose copy layer style. Now I want to take that style and apply it to highway here. Instead of this embossed with this blue, I want this darker navy. So I choose this highway, okay, and then over here in the layers panel I right click and I choose paste because I've already copied a layer style. So now I'm just going to literally copy and paste the style from this text onto this text so it matches. I'll choose paste, and now you can see I've got this layer style here. It looks a little different because instead of a gray background, it's got this gravel background. But you can see how easy and simple that is. I'm going to go ahead and undo that. But you can see once you learn these little tricks, okay, and where to find some of these layer styles, which I'll get into in a later video, it really does become easy to kind of piggyback and just learn a few little tips and tricks and shortcuts to the point where you might not know Photoshop like a professional, but you're able to get the same results as a professional designer just by knowing a few of the shortcuts.